What if I told you that everything you know about time might be wrong? From an early age, we learned to measure time with clocks and calendars, experiencing it as an arrow that moves inexorably forward. But is that really the case? Some of the greatest thinkers in history, from philosophers to physicists, have questioned whether time is something real or merely an illusion created by our minds. Today, we're diving into this fascinating question. Is time an illusion? Get ready, because this exploration might change the way you understand reality. Let's start with a surprising fact. Time is not absolute. Before Albert Einstein, most people, including scientists, thought that time was a universal constant that flowed at the same rate for everyone. However, with the theory of relativity, Einstein showed that time is flexible and relative. In simple terms, time can pass more slowly or more quickly depending on how you move through space and how close you are to a massive object like a black hole. This phenomenon, known as time dilation, has been experimentally confirmed using atomic clocks. For example, a clock on a satellite orbiting Earth ticks slightly faster than a clock on the planet's surface. This happens because gravity affects the flow of time. Now imagine how time would behave near a black hole, where gravity is so intense that it drastically slows down time. If you could hover near one of these cosmic monsters and then return to Earth, you would find that time for you had passed much more slowly than for people on the planet. In this sense, time is not a universal constant, but something that depends on your perspective. While modern science tells us that time is relative, some philosophers and psychologists take it a step further by suggesting that time might not be real at all. Instead of being a fundamental feature of the universe, time could be a construct created by our minds to make sense of the world around us. Think about how we perceive time. We divide it into seconds, minutes, hours, days, and years. But these divisions don't exist in nature. They are human inventions. Consider also how our perception of time changes under different circumstances. When we are children, days seem to last forever. But as we grow older, years seem to fly by. This suggests that our experience of time is influenced by our minds and emotions rather than some objective reality. Some cultures even have radically different concepts of time. For instance, certain indigenous communities perceive time not as linear, but as cyclical, with events repeating over and over again. If time is a mental tool created to organize our experience, what does that imply about our understanding of reality? Is it possible that the past, present, and future exist simultaneously, and that what we call the now is just an illusion created by our consciousness? If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to join the family of universe. The ideas about time become even more complex when we introduce quantum physics. In the subatomic world, the rules governing particles are completely different from those we experience on a macroscopic scale. For example, in quantum physics, a particle can exist in multiple states at once, a phenomenon known as quantum superposition. This challenges our understanding of linear time, as it appears that events can occur simultaneously. Some interpretations of quantum mechanics, such as the multiverse theory, suggest that multiple realities could coexist in different timelines. In other words, the past, present, and future may not be fixed, but could exist in infinite versions. This raises fascinating questions. Could we be living in just one of many possible timelines? And if so, how does our perception of time fit into this complex web of possibilities? One of the most intriguing questions about time is the relationship between cause and effect. In our daily experience, one event causes another in a logical and chronological sequence. But what happens if time isn't linear? Some theories suggest that the effect could precede the cause in certain contexts. These kinds of paradoxes have been explored in theories about time travel and temporal loops. For example, the famous grandfather paradox poses that if you traveled back in time and prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, you would never have been born. But if you were never born, how could you travel back in time in the first place? These paradoxes not only challenge our understanding of time, but also of causality itself. In some theoretical models, such as those involving wormholes, it might be possible to connect different points in space and time, creating routes that defy the temporal sequence we know. Our brain plays a crucial role in how we experience time. Neuroscience studies have revealed that the perception of time is neither universal nor constant. It varies based on our emotions, age, and circumstances. For instance, fear or adrenaline can make time seem to slow down, while monotony can make days blend together and pass unnoticed. More than 75% of people who watch our videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to support us, don't forget to subscribe and share the channel so that we continue to grow as a Universo family. Let's continue. Some researchers have even suggested that time might be nothing more than a construct of our mind to organize sensory information. If this is true, it could mean that our perception of time is entirely subjective and that without a consciousness to experience it, time might not exist at all. This leads us to reflect how much of our experience of time is real and how much is an interpretation created by our brain. Philosophy has also played a significant role in questioning the nature of time. Some philosophers have suggested that the present, as we perceive it, might not exist at all. For example, the philosopher Francois Leruel argued that time is a conceptual construct with no reality outside our experience. For him and other similar thinkers, what we call the now is merely a transition between the past and the future. On the other hand, the concept of the eternal present suggests that everything that has happened and everything that will happen already exists in some way. This idea resonates with relativistic physics, where time is not a linear sequence, but a dimension like space. In this view, time doesn't flow, it simply is. This leads to the intriguing possibility that free will might be an illusion, since the future could already be predetermined. So, is time an illusion? The answer depends on how you choose to interpret it. For science, time is relative and malleable. For philosophy, it might be a conceptual construct. And for our daily experience, it is a force that seems to govern our lives. But what is clear is that time is far more complex than it appears at first glance. Questioning the nature of time leads us to reflect on our own existence and our place in the universe. If time isn't real, what does that mean for us? Are we merely travelers in an imaginary stream? Or is there something deeper that we have yet to understand? If this video made you think differently, don't forget to subscribe to Universe and join our community of curious explorers. See you in the next video.